Sister, when I watch the Bible studies, I constantly hear a question come up about how we, as believers, should evangelize. Throughout several Bible studies, I've been able to gather different answers, but I've noticed they all have something very particular in common, and it's that you always respond in a certain way. Sometimes, you explain to some brothers and sisters how we should go about it, and other times, you say it's our duty to do so, because one of our purposes is to proclaim the Lord's work, to praise Him, and to speak of His work. But I also notice that, at other times, sister, you say that we shouldn't go overboard with words, or that we should simply say to someone, I invite you to a church where God manifests Himself.
Sure, because it really depends on the person, the one doing the evangelizing. There are people of few words, they can't express what they feel very well because they don't have the words to speak to people. Since they don't have the necessary words, the person says, at the church where I attend, God reveals Himself and God speaks. And that's it. At the church where I attend, God performs miracles and heals. Are you sick? Go there and God will heal you. There, they've evangelized. Because it was a person who doesn't have the ability to speak at length, to teach, to evangelize with doctrine. So they keep it simple. In the end, it really depends on the person and how they go about evangelizing. So the one who's good with words, so to speak, talks a lot, says all kinds of things. And the one who doesn't, either because they don't have the words or because they're shy, says three things. God speaks in my church. God performs miracles and healings there. That's all I know. If you want, go. Here is the address. It depends. It depends.
Thank you. That was my question, sister. Because I was also thinking about the testimony where Brother Luis was once invited to someone's home, and the people who invited him thought he was going to preach the word to them. But that wasn't the case. So I began to wonder, putting all these answers together, and I thought, evangelizing is a spiritual gift from the Lord, and we need to have discernment. Before we evangelize anyone, we should ask the Lord to give us discernment so we can determine whether we should say a lot, just a little, whether to make a comment at that moment, or whether it's not the right time. We need to know how to behave so we don't end up driving people away, and how to speak when someone approaches us to tell us about a hardship and we have the answer. We want to share it, but maybe they won't receive it well in that moment. What kind of wisdom should we have so we can say the right words?
We don't need to have discernment to know whether I should speak or not. No. There's also a gift. There's a gift that God gives to many people. And there are people who have that gift, that grace, and they evangelize everyone they meet, talk to everyone, and invite them. That's like a gift, a grace, a talent that person has. I admire that person. I don't evangelize anyone because I'm very shy and don't speak to people like that. So I'm quiet. But yes, the day someone gives me the opportunity and says something to me, well then, no one can get me to stop talking. All right, so there are people I admire who talk to everyone. They're not embarrassed, they're not ashamed, they're not shy, nothing, but they go around talking to all the people, inviting them to come to the church, to come to such and such church. I admire that because I think that's not for everyone, but for people who have that courage and that grace that God gives to each one. So I think each one of us does a job, does a task, right? So I say, Lord, if it's for me to evangelize, I won't win a single soul, not a single soul, because I don't talk to people. And then they tell me, but you do win souls, because when you give the teaching, you win many souls. And well, I hope that's true. Because if the Lord is going to ask me how many souls I won by evangelizing, it's just a few people. But at the moment when the people you already know, people from a long time ago who don't go to church, who don't seek God, then I kind of form a friendship with these people. And they start telling me, no, it's that I'm sick. It's that I'm going through another tribulation. This happened to me. This happens. I say, well, go to church so that God can comfort you, so that God can speak to you. Seek God, and you'll see that all these things will pass. In those moments, I'm not shy. I speak clearly. And, well, my example and my testimony evangelize many people, right? However, sister, that's not a matter of discernment or anything, but a matter of whether you like to evangelize, and when you do it, it comes naturally. But there are people who don't. Surely what happens to me happens to them. They're embarrassed to talk to them, to address the person. For example, when I go to the doctor or other places, I never tell people I'm a Christian. But they notice something strange in me, something different. They say, this lady, who could this lady be? And they start looking for me on the internet, and they discover, and they tell me, it's that I feel something so beautiful with you. It's that your presence gives me peace. They tell me that. And then they investigate to see who I am. They also investigate. And I simply say, thank you. And these are things that God promises me, right? The Lord promises me that when I go down the street, out there with people, that sometimes God blesses people, maybe through my presence or even just my shadow. Who knows? So I see that this is fulfilled for me, but I say, well, the Lord fulfilled his promise, and that's that. As for evangelizing, I really hope to win a soul. I truly do. But I don't say now, because I often think it's not the right time yet. I'm not going to invite this person to church just yet. I can tell it's not the moment. So I wait. But then someone else doesn't think that way. They just start talking to them right away. And that's how it goes. I end up saying, well, they beat me to it. I was waiting for the right moment to invite them. And they got there first. That's just what happens sometimes. And that's not about discernment. It's a gift, a talent, a grace that each person feels in their heart to do. I greatly admire those who love to talk to everyone they meet. I can't do it, but I really admire those who can. In any case, God uses countless ways to make sure people hear the gospel. You're doing great. Just don't be shy like me.
Thank you very much, sister.